It's been a while since we saw the Vietnam veteran in action. Sylvester Stallone's character Rambo, with whom many generations grew up, is one of the best roles in the actor's career and a role that made Stallone one of the greatest stars in Hollywood. But can we hope that the Rambo saga can continue with another sixth movie? Stay with us and find out all the theories about the next possible film. Since the 2019's movie was a total failure, fans are constantly asking whether there will be another Rambo appearance on the big screen. I'll tell you from the start, yes, there's a big chance that the Rambo film series could continue with another film in the near future. At this point, it's hard to say when, while nobody knows, not even Stallone himself. There are lots of talks and a lot of speculations floating around, but nothing is official right now. Rambo Last Blood was in process since the premiere of the 2008's fourth movie in the franchise. After many delays, the movie was officially announced in 2018 when Adrian Grunberg took the directorial seat. The movie had its principal photography in Bulgaria, and it was one of the most anticipated action movies in 2019. But as people say, with big expectations, also big disappointment happens, and Last Blood was a perfect example of this. The movie was criticized almost for everything, from the cast and the story to the graphic violence. Above all, it was accused of racism and xenophobia towards Mexico and the Mexican people. All this made the film the lowest grossing in the franchise with only $91 million. The only positive thing was to see Sylvester Stallone back in action. Well, he wasn't the same guy we were used to seeing, but still he proved to be in good shape even in the 8th decade of his life. Stallone proved that he's still able to meet the challenges and that he's still a tough guy. From sitting in the wooden chair on the porch of his ranch house and trading horses to dealing with a whole flock of Mexican bandits, Rambo once again saved the day, but almost everybody agrees that Last Blood must not be last at all. An iconic character and a tortured veteran like Rambo deserves much better, and you should hit that like button below the video right now. No, really, he deserves at least a treatment like Rocky and Creed movies. Since the 2019's film premiere, there were talks for another film in the franchise, but financial and critical disappointment delayed the idea. Now, 3 years later, I can say that we have some clues which could tell us in which direction the franchise is moving. Let's go step by step and find out every interesting theory about the next possible Rambo movie. Stallone, who's also not satisfied with the results of the last film, recently in an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, said that his idea for the next film is a prequel story, something like Ken Burns' documentary on Vietnam. You drop the young Rambo there, and he's this outgoing guy, football captain, and then you see why he becomes Rambo, said the actor, and also added that he has a whole concept for the next story that will explore Rambo's tragic backstory. If you think about it, this isn't bad at all. Since the last movie ended with John sitting in a chair with a wound in his stomach, we can't be sure if he's still alive. Maybe Last Blood is just the last episode of Rambo as a veteran and a new start for a whole new movie series where we can learn more about his life as a child and during his youth. This could be more likely because a sequel to Last Blood can only spoil John Rambo's character and can ruin the whole legacy that this character left behind. The prequel story will need to return to the character-grounded roots, and this could be interesting not only for avid fans of an action movie, but also for the young audience. And if you remember what kind of life John had, losing his brother in arms, being tortured like animals in Vietnam, being disappointed by his country, losing his lover and his reason to live, losing his only mentor and father figure, so it's probably the best if we say goodbye to Stallone as Rambo and someone new takes the role in further movie developments. There are a lot of other theories for the next film, and one of the most interesting is that we could meet Rambo's brother. There were some rumors that we'll still meet him in the 2008's film as a local sheriff and later in the 2019's film together with Stallone in action, but none of this happened. Fans are suggesting that only one guy could be perfect for the role, and that's Dave Bautista. The actor has already worked together with Stallone in Guardians of the Galaxy, but this idea can only work if the story in the sixth film is a sequel to Last Blood. But it's still possible as a theory, even if the story is a prequel. Then we can see some younger actors playing the role. Let's get back to the prequel idea. If you're a real Rambo fan, you probably know that the first Rambo film is mostly based on David Morrell's novel. But in contrast to the story in the book, which ends with John being shot in the head by Troutman, the movie series toned down the darkness of the story and removed the bleak ending. If you remember the first film, then you also remember that you have to smash that subscribe button and hit that notification bell below the video. No, really, if you remember First Blood, then you probably also remember Sam Troutman's Baker team. So between the possibilities for the prequel story is also the one that the next movie could explore Baker team led by Troutman and Rambo's time as part of this team. Richard Crenna was a last-minute replacement for Kirk Douglas in First Blood. The legendary actor was perfect in the role throughout the first 3 movies, and after passing in 2003, Stallone had to remove his name from the 2008 movie. But a prequel placing him at the center would be a fresh dynamic for the franchise and could bring so many great memories from the past. The other possibility for the next film is a modern-day story, but it's hard to say how this could work. If you read Stallone's interview for The Hollywood Reporter, you'll find out that the actor also mentioned this possibility. What they want to do is a modern-day story where I pass the torch. That's getting close, said the actor. This could mean that in the next film, Rambo could teach a new boy to whom he'll pass his skills, just like he did as Rocky in the Creed movies. But this is just a possibility, and nobody right now knows what this passing of the torch will look like. Needless to say, any actor who'll take the role of Stallone will have to carry a heavy burden on his back. No matter how and when the story could continue with another film, Rambo will be remembered as one of the greatest characters in the whole cinematic history.
In your chest, and rip out your heart, like you did mine.
With $819 million gross so far and living history from 1985, John Rambo's movie franchise is surely one of the most famous and one of the longest living. One thing on which the team for the next movie needs to work is a bigger budget, and with that, better names in the cast. The cast crew in Last Blood was one of the weakest links, having many unknown faces alongside Sylvester Stallone. It's not the best way to reach great goals. Stallone is currently working on 2 other projects, the 4th part of The Expendables and the 3rd film of Guardians of the Galaxy. So if he stands behind the idea for a new film, then we can probably expect more news after he finishes with the previously mentioned movie titles. Let's hope that it'll be in the next year or 2. Until then, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.